A senior employee at OpenAI just quietly declared that Chad is dead. Not dying. Dead. That single sentence carries more weight than most people realize because it reveals the exact blueprint for a product that could replace your browser, your phone's home screen, and half the apps you use every day. But there is a detail buried in this announcement that changes everything about who controls your digital life, and I will get to it. What I found when I dug into the business model behind this stopped me cold. I will show you in a minute. Here is why this is surfacing right now. OpenAI is building what insiders are calling a super app, a single interface designed to absorb the functions of dozens of standalone tools. According to TechCrunch AI, this is not a rumor or a leaked memo. It is an active, acknowledged project. The key players are Sam Altman, OpenAI's leadership team, and every major tech company that currently owns a piece of your attention economy. None of them are ready for what comes next. The number that stopped me cold is coming up. Let me walk you through what we actually know. OpenAI has been expanding ChatGPT's capabilities at an aggressive pace. Shopping, search, scheduling, image generation, code execution, file analysis, these are not separate products. They are all being funneled into a single conversational interface. What that means for you is straightforward. Every time OpenAI adds a feature that used to require a separate app, a separate subscription, a separate company, that company loses leverage over your workflow. Think about Google, think about Canva, think about Notion, Expedia, Instacart. If a single AI-powered interface can do 70% of what those tools do, the question is not whether people will switch. The question is how fast. The first loop I want to close is this. When a senior OpenAI employee says chat is dead, they are not being nihilistic. They are saying the text in, text out model of ChatGPT is being replaced by something richer. An agent that acts on your behalf across services without you needing to copy paste between 12 tabs. That is the super app, and here's where the real scope of this becomes clear. By the way, if this kind of analysis is useful to you, hit like. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people. What I am about to show you is the part most people are missing. The angle nobody else is covering is the business architecture underneath this super app. Think about WeChat in China. WeChat is not just a messaging app. It is payments, shopping, government services, social media, ride hailing, food delivery, all inside one shell. Over 1 billion people use it as their operating system for daily life. That model has never fully worked in the West because Western tech evolved around competing ecosystems. Apple controls the phone. Google controls search. Meta controls social. Amazon controls commerce. No single company had the AI layer powerful enough to sit on top of all of them. Until now. OpenAI is the first Western company with a plausible claim to the throne, and this is where the villain-hero-victim framing gets uncomfortable. The villain is not OpenAI. The villain is lock-in. If one company becomes your shopping assistant, your search engine, your travel agent, your coding partner, your image editor, and your calendar manager, what happens when they raise prices? What happens when they change their terms of service? What happens when they decide your data trains their next model? You are not the customer in that world. You are the product wearing a customer costume. Think about what that means for you personally. If your job involves any kind of knowledge work, this app is designed to do chunks of it faster and cheaper than you can. Stay with me. The last part is what actually matters. Here is the payoff. The single most surprising thing in this entire story: OpenAI is not building a super app to compete with Google or Apple. They are building it to make themselves impossible to regulate. Right now, regulators can point to ChatGPT and say it is an AI chatbot and here are the rules for AI chatbots. But a super app is not an AI chatbot. It is a platform, and platforms get regulated under completely different, much more lenient frameworks. The moment OpenAI becomes a platform where third-party services plug in, where merchants sell through it, where developers build on it, where users conduct financial transactions inside it, it falls into the same category as the App Store or the Google Play Store. That is a regulatory moat so wide it would take governments years to figure out how to cross it. This is exactly what happened with big tech in the 2010s. By the time regulators understood what Facebook and Google actually were, it was too late to meaningfully constrain them without breaking the internet for millions of people. OpenAI is running that same playbook, except faster, because the AI layer accelerates everything. Here is exactly what happens next. And within 18 months, ChatGPT will have a plugin or agent marketplace that functions like an app store. OpenAI will take a revenue cut from every transaction, and at that point, they will not be an AI company anymore. They will be an infrastructure monopoly. That is the real story no one is telling you. Before I go, here is your tech tip of the day. If you are already using ChatGPT's API or any OpenAI model through Python, you can dramatically cut your costs by caching repeated system prompts. OpenAI's API supports a feature where identical prompt prefixes are automatically cached on their servers for up to an hour, and cache tokens are billed at 50% off. The practical move is to structure your system prompt as a long, stable prefix that stays identical across calls, and put all variable content, user queries, dynamic context at the end. If you are making hundreds of API calls with the same system instructions, this alone can cut your bill nearly in half without changing a single output. Check OpenAI's prompt caching documentation for the exact models that support it. That is your tip for today. The next time someone tells you OpenAI is just building a better chatbot, remember, chat is dead. Their own people said it. What they are really building is the operating layer between you and everything else on the internet. Subscribe to Future Edge. I cover this every single day. See you tomorrow.